year was 2475. Humanity had grown far beyond the dreams of its ancestors. Towering cities of glass and steel stretched into the skies, and ships capable of leaving Earth's atmosphere were common sights. Artificial intelligence assisted in nearly every task, from farming and medicine to space exploration and defense. For the first time in history, humans felt unstoppable. Yet, with progress came division. Nations no longer fought with armies of men. Instead, they competed through technology, trade, and influence. Earth's surface was largely peaceful, but underneath tension simmered. Some governments saw expansion into space as a necessity, while others warned of dangers beyond the stars. In orbit, the human space fleet maintained a careful patrol of nearby star systems. Captain Elena Roshan stood on the bridge of the flagship Aurora, her eyes scanning the endless void. The stars, shining bright against the black canvas, seemed calm and eternal. She liked to imagine that they were watching her back, silent companions in a universe full of uncertainty. "Captain," said Lieutenant Giro, breaking her thoughts, "the outer scanners are picking up unusual activity near the Othar cluster. It doesn't match any known patterns." Elena straightened. "Unusual how?" "Energy readings are high, but there's no movement." "It's almost dormant," she frowned. "Send a probe. I want visuals and spectral analysis. Carefully, no unnecessary exposure." As the probe launched, Elena took a deep breath. Humanity had faced many challenges in space, but there was always a sense of confidence. Humans had the ability to adapt, to survive, and most importantly, to innovate. That was their edge. While other species relied on inherited strength or pre-programmed instincts, humans could think, imagine, and invent solutions on the fly. That ingenuity had carried them from Earth's dusty plains to the edge of the galaxy. Hours passed as the probe transmitted images back to the Aurora. The bridge crew leaned forward, studying the screens. A massive structure appeared on the monitor, unlike anything seen before. It was enormous, stretching hundreds of kilometers across space, dark and metallic, yet strangely elegant. Its shape was not random. Patterns and symbols covered its surface. "Captain," Giro whispered, awe in his voice. "Is that alive?" Elena shook her head slowly. "I don't know. But it's not human, and it's not any technology we've encountered. Keep scanning. Send everything back to Earth Command." On Earth, leaders watched the live feed with growing concern. The World Council convened an emergency session. Representatives argued over whether the structure was a threat or an invitation. Some insisted that it was a warning, a test, or even a trap. Others believed it was a peaceful attempt at communication. Ambassador Lian of the United Nations spoke first. "Humanity must be cautious. We cannot assume that what we see is friendly. There are species in the galaxy far older and stronger than us. We have no proof that they will welcome our expansion," General Thorne countered, voice firm and unwavering. "And what if they fear us because of our strength? Fear does not excuse inaction. We must be ready to defend ourselves. Our technology is unmatched by anything in our sector. Humanity will not kneel to unknown forces." The council debated for hours, but no agreement emerged. Decisions were postponed, leaving the humans in orbit to act with limited guidance. Meanwhile, Captain Roshan's crew continued to study the structure. Strange signals pulsed across their scanners, and though they could not decipher them, they felt the weight of the message. It was deliberate, intelligent, and poignant. In the darkness of space, Elena thought of her ancestors. Humans had faced extinction before, ice ages, plagues, wars that threatened the very survival of their species. Each time they had adapted. They had used their minds when brute force failed, built alliances when survival demanded it, and found hope when hope seemed impossible. The galaxy might be vast, but humans had one quality that others lacked: unpredictability. By the third day, the probe's cameras captured movement. Small drones emerged from the structure, circling the human ships like curious birds. The humans fired warning signals, hoping to establish boundaries. The drones paused, their lights flickering in patterns that seemed almost like a language. Elena's heart raced. Humanity was about to meet intelligence unlike anything they had faced before. Back on Earth, news spread quickly. Social networks buzzed with speculation, fear, and excitement. Children looked up at the night sky and imagined what might be out there. Adults debated the potential consequences. Scientists worked around the clock to analyze the signals, while defense forces prepared for every possible scenario. Humanity's response was unified in one way: they would not ignore the unknown. Captain Roshan called a meeting with her senior officers. "We don't know what they want," she said, voice calm but firm. "But we are human. We survive, we adapt, and we face the unknown with courage. We will continue to observe, to communicate, and to protect Earth. Nothing else matters." Lieutenant Giro nodded. "Understood, Captain. Our people are ready." The Aurora began sending messages to the alien structure, simple patterns of mathematics and light. It was a universal language, one they hoped could be understood. Days turned into nights, and nights into cycles of observation and communication. The structure remained quiet yet always present, an unblinking sentinel in the void. Then on the 7th day, the first clear response came. A wave of energy rippled through the human communications array, carrying a message that shook everyone who saw it. A single bold warning. It was neither friendly nor violent, yet it carried the weight of inevitability. "Prepare yourselves," the message seemed to say. "The galaxy watches, and judgment is near." Elena stared at the screen, gripping the edge of the console. "They're not asking. They're warning." The humans on the Aurora felt a mix of fear and exhilaration. This was the first time in history that humanity had been confronted by a civilization clearly beyond their understanding. But fear did not dominate them. Humans were built to fight back, to think, to find solutions. The unknown could be terrifying, but it could also be an opportunity. In cities across Earth, people looked up at the stars and wondered what awaited them. Generations had dreamed of first contact, of discovering life beyond their planet. Now that dream had arrived, and with it a test of all human strength and ingenuity. Captain Roshan knew that whatever happened next, humanity would not bow. They had survived countless challenges before, and they would survive this one. Every human on the ship, every scientist on Earth, and every civilian looking at the sky would play a part. Because humans were not merely survivors. They were creators, innovators, and dreamers, and the galaxy was about to see what it meant to face humanity at its finest. The calm before the storm was ending. The stars that had seemed eternal and peaceful now felt alive with possibility. Somewhere out there, intelligence waited, watching the humans closely. But humans too were watching, thinking, planning, and preparing. The first chapter of a new era was about to begin, one that would test the courage, creativity, and unity of all mankind. And in the quiet of the command bridge, Captain Roshan whispered to herself, "A vow as much as a promise. We will face whatever comes, because we are human, and humans do not give up." The warning had reached Earth like a thunderclap. Across the globe, screens flickered with the alien transmission, showing strange symbols and patterns of light that no human had ever seen. Scientists, linguists, engineers, and diplomats gathered in emergency meetings to analyze it. Even with humanity's most advanced technology, the meaning remained unclear. On the Aurora, Captain Elena Roshan watched the new transmissions with a mixture of awe and concern. Every day the alien structure pulsed with energy, sending signals across space that carried intelligence and intent. But their exact meaning was still a mystery. "We're picking up structured sequences," Lieutenant Giro reported. "They're not random. There's a pattern, something they're trying to communicate. But it's far beyond anything in our databases." Elena nodded. "Keep analyzing. Every detail might help. If they are intelligent, they will respond to logic and clarity. Let's give them that chance." Deep below Earth's surface, the World Council debated the meaning of the alien warning. Ambassador Leon argued for caution. "We cannot assume these beings are hostile. They are older, more advanced, and possibly far stronger. One mistake could destroy everything we have built." General Thorne slammed his hand on the table. "Caution will get us nowhere. Humanity cannot wait to be judged. We must show strength, readiness, and courage. We will defend ourselves if necessary." The debate lasted for hours with no clear decision, but in the background, scientists worked tirelessly to decode the signals. Using advanced quantum processors and artificial intelligence, they began to see structure in the chaos. Patterns repeated in ways that resembled logic, mathematics, and even music. Slowly, a sense of intent emerged. The aliens were sending not just a warning but a message, a test. Meanwhile, across Earth, civilians reacted in different ways. Children stared at the night sky, imagining towering alien ships and worlds filled with strange beings. Adults worried about the safety of their families and cities. But through the fear, curiosity remained. Humanity had always been driven by curiosity. It had sent explorers across oceans to the poles and into space. Now it faced its greatest frontier yet. On the bridge of the Aurora, Elena called a meeting with her senior officers. "We've been cautious," she said, "but caution is not the same as inaction. We need to understand their message before it's too late. Scientists are decoding patterns and engineers are preparing the ship for any possibility. But our priority is comprehension." The officers nodded, knowing the weight of responsibility. Humanity was about to meet intelligence unlike anything they had faced before. But humans had faced danger before and survived. This was different, but not impossible. As the days passed, the alien signals began to change. Small bursts of energy formed into more complex sequences. The humans noticed that the aliens were responding to their transmissions, subtly altering their pulses based on the light patterns the humans sent in return. It was a slow dialogue, one that required patience and careful analysis. "Captain," Jiro said, studying a monitor, "I think we're starting to understand part of it. They're referencing distances, trajectories, and energy sources, almost like they're mapping the solar system." Elena frowned. "Why would they do that? Are they warning us or preparing for something?" "We don't know yet," Jiro admitted. "But the patterns repeat when we send our signals. It's almost like they're testing our responses." Back on Earth, engineers were preparing defensive measures. Satellites were repositioned, planetary shields were activated, and fleets were put on high alert. Despite the fear, there was also a sense of pride. Humanity had never faced a challenge like this, and yet it was rising to meet it with intelligence, cooperation, and courage. One night, as the Aurora drifted near the alien structure, Elena stood alone on the observation deck. The stars stretched endlessly beyond the glass, but the structure loomed like a dark, silent sentinel. It was massive, far larger than anything humans had built, yet it seemed almost alive. Energy pulses flickered across its surface in patterns that hinted at intelligence far older than humanity itself. Elena's thoughts returned to the warning. "Prepare yourselves. The galaxy watches and judgment is near," she whispered to herself. "We are ready. We will face whatever comes." Suddenly, the ship's sensors detected a shift in the structure's energy field. A surge of power rippled outward, brushing against the human fleet. The officers rushed to their stations, hearts pounding. "Energy spike from the structure," shouted Lieutenant Jiro. "It's massive!" Elena remained calm. "Report on damage." "Minor fluctuations in shields," Jiro replied. "No immediate danger. But it's the first active signal of force we've detected." The officers exchanged uneasy glances. The structure was communicating, but it was also demonstrating capability. It was a subtle but clear reminder. Humans were being watched, tested, and judged. Meanwhile, scientists on Earth worked tirelessly to decode more of the alien language. Dr. Amira Khan, a leading linguist, noticed that the sequences resembled a form of logic, combined with emotional expression. "It's like they're trying to convey meaning beyond words," she said. "Perhaps warning, perhaps curiosity, perhaps both. They want to see how we respond under pressure." Her colleague, Engineer Marco Silva, nodded. "Then we give them exactly that. We show understanding, creativity, and resilience. Humans adapt. We always have. This is just another test." As humans sent new transmissions, the structure's signals began to form patterns that resembled diagrams of motion, energy flow, and perhaps even war formations. It was a sobering realization. The aliens were powerful, advanced, and perhaps wary of humanity's potential. Elena addressed her crew. "We're witnessing the first contact with intelligence far beyond our own. But we are not powerless. We will observe, learn, and respond. If they seek conflict, they will find that humans are unpredictable, resourceful, and united. And if they seek understanding, we will give them reason to respect us." The crew worked tirelessly, sending signals of logic and mathematics, observing the structure's responses, and preparing the Aurora for any eventuality. Humans had always faced danger with courage, and this was no different. Days turned into weeks. The dialogue between humans and the structure grew more complex. The aliens seemed to understand that humanity was not primitive or reckless. They had intelligence, creativity, and the capacity for cooperation. And slowly, the humans began to see a glimmer of purpose behind the warning. Somewhere in the patterns, the aliens hinted at a larger reality. The galaxy was filled with civilizations, some peaceful, some dangerous. Humanity had been growing rapidly, expanding its influence into space. The aliens watched not with hatred but with caution. They feared that humans, if left unchecked, might disrupt the balance of power. Elena realized that humans were not simply participants in this test. They were being judged as a potential force in the galaxy. How they reacted, how they adapted, how they demonstrated intelligence and unity, these would determine their place in the cosmos. On the observation deck, Elena gazed at the structure, feeling a mix of awe and determination. "We will not fail," she said softly. "We are human. We think, we create, and we endure. If they want to judge us, let them see our best." As the days passed, a subtle change occurred. The alien signals began to carry more information, almost like instructions. Humans deciphered hints of energy manipulation, propulsion techniques, and even basic design principles that were far beyond anything humanity had built. It was a gift and a warning. The aliens could teach, but only if humans proved capable of understanding. And so, humanity stood at the edge of a new era. The stars were no longer distant points of light. They were a stage for the greatest test humans had ever faced. The warning had been clear, the signals were understood, and the potential consequences loomed large. But humans had faced the impossible before. They had survived, adapted, and thrived. And now, as the alien signals continued to pulse through space, humanity prepared to meet the challenge with courage, creativity, and unity. Captain Roshan looked out at the stars once more. "The galaxy watches," she whispered. "But so do we. And humans never back down." The warning had become reality. From the distant edges of the solar system, alien ships appeared like shadows drifting against the backdrop of stars. Unlike anything humans had built, these vessels moved with elegance and precision. They were immense, their hulls glimmering with a strange energy that shimmered across space. Captain Elena Roshan stood on the bridge of the Aurora, watching the fleet approach. The tension in the room was thick, but Elena remained calm. Humanity had faced countless challenges before. This was another test, one that required ingenuity, courage, and unity. "Captain," Lieutenant Jiro reported, "their formation is unlike anything in our records. They're not attacking yet, but they're close enough to pose a serious threat." Elena nodded. "Keep scanners active. Analyze their movement patterns. If they're waiting for something, we need to be ready for any action." Across Earth, cities braced for impact. Emergency broadcasts instructed civilians to move to shelters, secure resources, and prepare for possible evacuations. Military fleets were mobilized and orbital defense systems were activated. Humanity had never faced a threat like this, yet for every fear there was determination. Humans were not a species to surrender without reason. In orbit, the alien ships halted. They did not fire, but the airlock of tension was palpable. Their presence was a reminder. Humans were being watched and every move mattered. On the Aurora, scientists and engineers scrambled to adapt. Dr. Amira Khan analyzed the alien ship's energy signatures. "Their weapons are unlike ours," she said, "but they follow predictable patterns. If we adapt quickly, we can avoid direct hits and even use their own movements against them." Engineer Marco Silva grinned, eyes bright with excitement. "Then let's do exactly that. Humans excel at improvisation. They may be stronger or faster, but we're unpredictable." Elena turned to her officers. "Prepare the ship for evasive maneuvers. Set up communication channels for Earth. And remember, we're not just defending ourselves, we're sending a message. Humans do not bow to threats." The first wave of the invasion came quietly but decisively. Alien drones launched from the main ships, moving like silver streaks across space toward Earth's orbital defenses. Shields flared as human fleets engaged, but it quickly became clear that conventional tactics were insufficient. "Captain, their drones are adapting faster than expected," Jiro said. "Every maneuver we make, they anticipate." Elena's mind raced. "Then we stop acting predictably. Initiate random maneuvers and use decoys. Let them chase shadows while we find an opening." The humans' ingenuity paid off. By combining their knowledge of orbital physics with quick improvisation, they managed to outmaneuver the first drones. Several drones were neutralized while others were forced to retreat. The alien fleet did not respond with full force yet. This was a test of resilience, patience, and strategy. On Earth, civilians watched news feeds anxiously. Children clutched parents' hands while scientists explained that humanity was fighting not only for survival, but for its place in the galaxy. Messages of hope and courage spread, inspiring unity across nations that had once been divided. Humanity's strength lay not only in technology, but in its ability to come together in the face of danger. Meanwhile, the Aurora detected an anomaly within the alien fleet. A section of the ships was disengaging from the formation, moving toward an asteroid belt near Jupiter. Elena called an immediate meeting with her officers. It could be a trap, she warned, or it could be an opportunity. Jiro analyzed their movement. Find weaknesses. Jiro's fingers flew across the console. Captain, the ships are moving in a pattern that leaves their flanks exposed. If we act carefully, we can strike and gather intelligence without direct confrontation. Elena smiled faintly. Then we do exactly that. Prepare a small team to intercept and study the ships. Use stealth and speed. And above all, think like humans. Creative, unpredictable, resourceful. A strike team equipped with advanced sensors and lightweight assault craft departed the Aurora. As they approached the alien vessels, they observed technology far beyond human understanding. Energy fields pulsed rhythmically, and the ship seemed almost alive, responding to the presence of the humans. Lieutenant Kara, piloting the lead craft, whispered to her team, "Remember, observation first. Do not engage unless necessary. We need information more than confrontation." The strike team maneuvered skillfully, recording every detail. They discovered that the alien ship's energy sources were concentrated in central cores. If the humans could find a way to disrupt these without destroying the vessels completely, they could gain leverage. Back on the Aurora, Elena monitored their progress. Every observation counts. Humans survive because we learn, adapt, and think differently. Let's see if the aliens understand that yet. Suddenly, the alien fleet reacted. Energy pulses surged outward, forcing the human craft to retreat. But the humans did not panic. Using quick thinking and daring maneuvers, they avoided damage and returned to the Aurora with critical intelligence. Captain, we have data on their energy distribution, propulsion, and some of their communication signals, Kara reported. It's not complete, but it's enough to begin planning. Elena nodded. Good work. This is why humans endure. We adapt, we learn, and we fight not just with strength but with intelligence. The battle continued for days. Alien drones probed Earth's defenses, testing humans' reaction time and strategy. Each encounter taught humanity something new. Scientists improved shield patterns, engineers upgraded weapons, and soldiers developed tactics that leveraged human unpredictability. Earth had become a planet-wide classroom in resilience. The alien fleet, despite superior technology, began to realize that humans were not an ordinary species. They were creative, adaptable, and capable of unity on a scale that no alien had anticipated. In one decisive encounter near Saturn's orbit, humans executed a maneuver that leveraged the gravitational pull of the planet. Alien drones caught off guard were thrown off course, allowing humans to disable several without direct combat. It was a combination of knowledge, timing, and daring, the very traits that had allowed humanity to thrive for millennia. Captain Roshan addressed her crew after the battle. We have survived our first major test. The aliens are powerful, but they are not infallible. Humans have shown that we can think, adapt, and overcome. We must continue to learn from every encounter. This is only the beginning. On Earth, the population reacted with relief and renewed pride. Humanity had faced an unprecedented threat, and had not only survived but demonstrated its unique strengths. Across the globe, people celebrated not just victory, but the spirit that made humans exceptional: ingenuity, courage, and determination. Yet despite the successes, Elena knew the war was far from over. The aliens had tested humanity's strength, but their ultimate intent remained unknown. The warning that had arrived weeks before still echoed in every mind. Prepare yourselves. The galaxy watches and judgment is near. The humans had proven their resilience, but they would need more than courage to survive what was coming. They would need creativity, unity, and the ability to see opportunities where others saw only danger. As the Aurora drifted silently in the aftermath of battle, Elena gazed at the alien fleet in the distance. It was massive, organized, and patient, like a predator waiting for the right moment. But humans had something no predator could anticipate: imagination. We will face what comes, Elena whispered, and when the time comes, we will show the galaxy that humans are not to be underestimated. The calm of space returned briefly, but everyone aboard the Aurora knew it was only temporary. The invasion had begun, and humanity had survived its first trial. The battle would grow, the stakes would rise, and the galaxy would soon witness the full power of human determination. And somewhere in the alien fleet, intelligence observed, adapting to humanity's creativity and courage. For the first time, the invaders understood that humans were not just another species. They were something different, something unpredictable, something that could not be controlled or ignored. The stars, silent and vast, waited patiently. Humanity was awake, alert, and ready. The first wave of the invasion had passed, but the story was far from over. Humans had faced fear and uncertainty, and had emerged stronger, wiser, and more determined than ever. Captain Elena Roshan turned to her crew one last time before rest. "We've survived today. Tomorrow we prepare for the next challenge. Remember, humans endure, humans adapt, humans prevail, and no matter what comes, we do not surrender." The battle in the outer solar system had left scars across Earth's orbit. Debris from destroyed drones floated silently against the blackness of space, a reminder of the first confrontation. But humanity had survived, and more importantly, humanity had learned. Captain Elena Roshan stood on the bridge of the Aurora, eyes fixed on the distant alien fleet. The invaders had paused, observing, perhaps reassessing. They had seen human resilience and unpredictability firsthand. Yet Elena knew that caution alone would not ensure survival. Humans needed a plan, a counterstrike that combined creativity, strategy, and courage. Lieutenant Jiro approached, holding a holographic display of the alien ship's formations. "Captain, our analysis shows a pattern. Their energy cores are concentrated, but distributed in a way that maximizes efficiency. If we can disrupt even a few, we can create confusion in their fleet." Elena studied the display carefully. "We don't want to destroy them entirely," she said. "We need leverage. Show them that humans are clever, adaptable, and capable of learning faster than they expect." "This is our advantage," the Council on Earth agreed. For the first time, all nations worked together with a single purpose: to turn human ingenuity into a decisive strategy. Scientists and engineers combined their knowledge with military planners to develop new technology. Stealth craft were modified for speed and maneuverability. Shield systems were enhanced, and weapons were upgraded with precision targeting based on the alien ship's energy patterns. Dr. Amira Khan, the lead linguist, discovered a breakthrough while studying alien signals. "Captain," she said via secure channel, "I believe I can translate part of their communication code. They respond to logic and rhythm, almost like a musical language. If we can replicate it, we might be able to influence their movements or even communicate a challenge without using weapons." Elena's eyes lit up. "Do it. This is humanity's strength, thinking differently. We are not just fighting with force. We are using our minds, our creativity, our unpredictability. Show them the human answer." In orbit around Jupiter, the Aurora and a fleet of human ships prepared for their counterstrike. Small strike teams equipped with the new technology moved like shadows through space. Their mission was not destruction, but precision disruption, demonstrating humanity's ability to adapt and innovate under pressure. The first engagement began near Saturn's rings. Alien drones advanced, expecting the humans to follow predictable patterns. Instead, humans used the gravitational pull of moons and asteroids to perform sudden maneuvers, appearing in unexpected locations and confusing the invaders. Energy pulses that once threatened humans were now redirected through clever positioning, disabling several drones without a single human casualty. Lieutenant Kara, piloting one of the lead craft, reported with a grin, "They're reacting. Our unpredictability is causing hesitation. Their patterns are breaking down." Elena nodded, a smile forming on her lips. "Exactly. Humans thrive where others fail. Keep up the pressure, but remember, we're sending a message, not just fighting." Meanwhile, scientists on Earth worked on a daring plan. Using data from the alien signals, they developed a series of communication pulses embedded in human transmissions. The pulses combined mathematics, energy manipulation, and rhythm, mimicking the patterns observed in the alien fleet. It was a bold attempt to influence alien behavior without force, a demonstration of intelligence, creativity, and initiative. As the human fleet executed coordinated maneuvers, the alien ships began to respond. Their energy fields fluctuated in unusual patterns, halting their drones and reorienting parts of their fleet. The humans realized that the invaders were testing not only strength but comprehension. They were responding to the logic and rhythm embedded in human signals. Elena addressed her crew over the bridge intercom. Observe carefully. Every reaction is a lesson. Humans have survived countless challenges because we learn, adapt, and act together. Show them that we are capable of both thought and courage. Let this be the human answer. The counter-strike continued for days. Human ingenuity became the weapon. Engineers adapted alien energy sources, redirecting them through human systems to create controlled disruptions. Pilots used asteroid fields as cover and launch points, while scientists decoded more of the alien signals in real time. The result was chaos within the alien fleet, not through brute force but through clever strategy. Back on Earth, people followed every development. News outlets broadcasted the progress of human strike teams and the response of the alien fleet. Civilians marveled at human creativity. Engineers were celebrated for rapid innovations, and scientists were lauded for decoding alien patterns. Humanity had become a single, united force, proving that intellect, courage, and collaboration could overcome even the most advanced adversary. In one daring maneuver, the humans managed to isolate a section of the alien fleet near Neptune's orbit. Using energy pulses calibrated to mimic the aliens' communication rhythms, they forced the ships into a temporary standoff. Alien drones hesitated, shields fluctuated, and the fleet's formations broke down. Elena observed the results with satisfaction. "They understand," she said softly. "They see that humans are different. We do not simply react. We think, we innovate, we endure. And now they are learning what it means to face us." Lieutenant Giro added, "Captain, their response is more cautious than before. They are testing us in new ways. I think they recognize that we are capable of more than brute force. They see intelligence, creativity, and unity." Elena smiled. "Exactly. This is the point of the human answer. We show not just strength, but mind and spirit. The galaxy has never faced anything quite like humanity. Let them learn it now." On the Aurora, the crew felt a surge of pride. Every human on the ship, from officers to technicians, knew that their actions were part of a larger demonstration. Humanity would not be underestimated. Every calculation, every maneuver, and every pulse sent to the alien fleet carried the message. Humans are resilient, inventive, and united. As the alien fleet adjusted to human strategy, a new opportunity appeared. Some of the alien ships had overextended their positions, leaving gaps in their formation. Elena called an emergency meeting with her officers. "This is our chance," she said. "We don't strike recklessly. We act intelligently. We use their own movements against them and gain maximum advantage with minimum risk. Prepare all strike teams." Strike teams launched into action. Using gravity-assisted maneuvers, energy redirection, and real-time adaptation of alien technology, humans disrupted the alien formation further. Drones faltered, shields failed, and energy flows became unstable. The aliens, for the first time, seemed uncertain. On Earth, celebrations were cautious but heartfelt. Humanity had survived the first full-scale engagement. They had not only defended themselves, but had demonstrated the unique qualities that made humans extraordinary: creativity, adaptability, and courage in the face of overwhelming odds. Captain Roshan addressed her crew after the operation. "We have done more than survive. We have proven that humans are capable of thinking and acting in ways others cannot anticipate. The aliens have learned that they cannot control us with force alone. We have sent the human answer, clear, confident, and unstoppable." Lieutenant Kara added, "They've seen our unpredictability, our innovation, and our courage. They know that we are not just fighters. We are thinkers. That is our greatest weapon." Elena nodded. "Exactly. The galaxy has seen humanity's first answer. But remember, this is just the beginning. We must continue to learn, adapt, and innovate. Humans survive not because we are the strongest, but because we are clever, courageous, and united." As the alien fleet retreated slightly, the humans took the moment to prepare. Repairs were made to ships, shields were reinforced, and new strategies were discussed. Every human involved knew that they were part of something larger, a demonstration of the true power of humanity. The stars seemed to shine brighter that night. From Earth to the outer planets, humans felt pride, hope, and determination. They had faced an enemy far beyond their understanding and had not only survived, but shown brilliance and unity. Captain Elena Roshan stood alone on the observation deck, gazing at the alien fleet in the distance. Their energy pulsed slowly, almost as if studying the humans' movements. Elena whispered to herself, a vow for the future. We have given the first human answer. The galaxy will know us now, not just as survivors, but as innovators, thinkers, and warriors. And when the time comes, we will face the consequences together, united and undaunted. The human answer had been delivered. It was more than a demonstration of strength. It was proof that humanity's greatest power lay in intelligence, creativity, and courage. And the galaxy, watching silently, could not ignore it. The solar system had become a theater of tension and strategy. For weeks, humanity had faced the alien fleet with courage, creativity, and unity. Every encounter, every adaptation, every display of ingenuity had taught humans valuable lessons, and had forced the aliens to recognize that humans were no ordinary species. Captain Elena Roshan stood on the bridge of the Aurora, staring at the distant formation of alien vessels. The fleet had stopped advancing, but had not withdrawn entirely. They observed, probed, and waited. The balance of power had shifted. Humans had demonstrated that force alone could not dominate them. They relied on intelligence, unpredictability, and cooperation. Lieutenant Giro approached with a report. Captain, our analysis indicates that the aliens are attempting to interpret our last series of signals. They're hesitant to act aggressively. It's as if they are listening. Elena's eyes narrowed with determination. Good, that's exactly what we want. Humans have survived by thinking differently. Now it's time to take the next step. Prepare the communications array. We are going to send a message, not just as a warning, but as a declaration. On Earth, scientists and engineers worked with military planners to finalize the plan. Using alien energy signatures, human communications, and a combination of logic and rhythm observed from previous signals, they created the most sophisticated transmission humanity had ever produced. Every pulse, every wave, every pattern carried meaning, intelligence, courage, and unity. It was the culmination of everything humanity had learned in the past weeks. Dr. Amira Khan, leading the effort, explained the significance. This message isn't just words. It's a representation of human spirit. It shows creativity, strategy, and adaptability. It says that humans cannot be controlled, that we will not bow, and that we are prepared to survive any challenge. Engineer Marco Silva added, it also shows that humans are not reckless. We fight with intelligence. We defend ourselves with ingenuity, and if necessary, we act decisively. The galaxy will know that we are a species to respect, not underestimate. The Aurora and Earth's orbital stations coordinated the transmission. Energy pulsed outward, a sequence of signals crafted to convey humanity's unique message. On board the Aurora, Elena watched the waves ripple into space, carrying with them the culmination of human effort, ingenuity, and courage. Then, the alien fleet responded. Their energy fields flared and pulses returned, more complex than ever before. But this time the humans were ready. Scientists decoded the response quickly. It was recognition, understanding, and a challenge. The aliens were communicating back, not with hostility, but acknowledgement. Elena turned to her crew. They understand. They know we are capable of thought, strategy, and resilience. This is what humanity has always been. Unpredictable, intelligent, and strong. They can't ignore us, and now they respect us. In orbit around Jupiter, human strike teams continued reconnaissance, ensuring that the aliens remained contained. The fleet was massive, but humans had learned to use the terrain of the solar system, the timing of gravitational pulls, and their own ingenuity to maintain an advantage. Every move was calculated, creative, and unexpected. On Earth, celebrations were quiet but profound. Humanity had faced a civilization far beyond its own understanding and survived. They had demonstrated creativity, intelligence, and unity on a scale the galaxy had never seen. From children to scientists, from civilians to soldiers, humans felt pride and hope. But Elena knew the job was not over. The aliens had been tested, and humanity had responded brilliantly. Now it was time to ensure that the galaxy understood the consequence of challenging humans, not through destruction, but through the demonstration of spirit, unity, and creativity. The final plan was simple yet powerful. The humans would send one last transmission across the stars, a single bold message that carried the weight of their resilience, intelligence, and courage. It was not a threat, but a declaration. Humanity had survived, adapted, and learned. They would continue to endure and thrive, and any who underestimated them would soon face the results. The transmission was prepared carefully. Mathematical sequences, energy pulses, and visual representations of human ingenuity were encoded. Every part of the message was designed to communicate clarity, strength, and creativity. Dr. Khan oversaw the final encoding, ensuring that it represented the best of humanity. As the signal prepared to launch, Elena addressed her crew. "This is our moment. We've survived, adapted, and learned. Now the galaxy will see that humans are capable of more than anyone imagined. This message is not just a warning, it is a statement of who we are." Lieutenant Jiro nodded. "Captain, all systems are ready. Transmission in 3, 2, 1. Energy pulses surged outward, traveling faster than light, carrying humanity's final transmission to the alien fleet and beyond. For a moment, the universe seemed silent. Then across space, the aliens responded. Their ship's energy fields pulsed rhythmically, almost as if acknowledging the human message. The humans had been heard, understood, and respected. Elena allowed herself a small smile. Humanity had sent the ultimate message. You wanted war. Now face the consequences. But the consequences were not destruction. They were proof that humans were clever, resilient, and united. The galaxy had witnessed the unique strength of humanity. On Earth, the people looked up at the night sky with wonder. The stars no longer seemed distant or passive, they were alive with possibility. Humanity had claimed its place in the galaxy, not through conquest, but through ingenuity, courage, and unity. Captain Roshan remained on the bridge, watching the alien fleet in the distance. Though their intentions were not fully known, one truth was clear. Humans were a species that could not be ignored. They had faced fear and uncertainty, adapted to challenges far beyond their experience, and emerged stronger, wiser, and more united than ever. Lieutenant Kara approached. "Captain, their formation is shifting. They're retreating, slowly. But it's not defeat, it's respect," Elena nodded. "Exactly. They've learned that humans are different. We survive not because we are the strongest, but because we are unpredictable, intelligent, and united. The galaxy has seen the human spirit, and that is our greatest power." In the days that followed, humans repaired damaged ships, reinforced planetary defenses, and studied the alien fleet from a cautious distance. Every discovery, every adaptation, every success was a reminder of what made humanity exceptional. They had faced a civilization far older and more advanced, and they had endured. The stars above Earth shimmered like diamonds, silent witnesses to the triumph of human spirit. Children looked to the sky with dreams of exploration. Scientists imagined new possibilities, and soldiers and engineers felt pride in their courage and ingenuity. Humanity had proven that survival was not only about strength, but about intelligence, creativity, and unity. Elena stood on the observation deck of the Aurora, gazing at the stars. She whispered to herself, a vow and a promise for all humanity. We have survived. We have adapted. We have sent our message. And the galaxy will remember what it means to face humans. We are more than explorers, more than soldiers. We are thinkers, creators, and survivors. We endure, and we thrive. Always. The alien fleet for the first time retreated fully beyond the outer reaches of the solar system. Their energy pulses no longer carried threat, only observation. Humanity had not only survived the trial, they had claimed their place in the galaxy. And somewhere among the stars, intelligence watched silently. The humans had proven themselves worthy, not through conquest, but through resilience, creativity, and unity. The last transmission had spoken the truth of humanity, a species that could not be controlled, a species that could think, create, and endure against all odds. On Earth, celebrations erupted in every city. Humanity had survived its greatest test and sent a message across the galaxy that would not soon be forgotten. They were stronger, wiser, and more united than ever. They had faced the unknown and prevailed, showing the universe what it meant to be human. Captain Elena Roshan returned to her quarters, exhausted but proud. Humanity had faced fear, uncertainty, and overwhelming odds, and they had triumphed. She looked at the stars, feeling hope and determination. The galaxy was vast, full of unknowns, but humanity had proven one thing. No matter the challenge, humans would endure, adapt, and prevail. The last transmission had been sent. The galaxy had seen it. The humans of Earth had declared their presence, their strength, and their ingenuity. They had survived not through might alone, but through intelligence, courage, and unity. And the universe would never forget the day humanity sent its final message. You wanted war, now face the consequences.